Okay,
Good
ladies
deal.
and gents, for the second show in a row, we're going transatlantic once again here on the Scouse on the Scot. So I will now hand you over to my big Scouse mate Ian, who will introduce tonight's guests. Over to you, big man.
Nice one, John. And tonight we've got a bit of a special one. Definitely for me, because I've been listening to quite a few tracks by you guys. So it's Aaron and Scott from Hippies and Cowboys. How the devil are you doing?
Doing great, man. It's good to be here.
Well, welcome aboard. Like, you know what I mean? It's great to have you.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're really looking forward to answering some questions, man.
Don't feel pressured. We won't put you under pressure, man.
Never,
He's
never, no pressure.
he's
I
We love
lying,
stopped
the
Aaron.
caring a
He
pressure.
will
long time
definitely put
ago.
he will definitely put you under pressure at some point. I know that because I know what he does. So first of all, I think it's good to sort of like the reason why we're chatting to you guys tonight is purely and simply through a chap called Philip Shabur from Tres Hombres Touring, who is
Yes,
a kind of
sir.
friend of mine. And I was chatting to him, and in fact, we were going to be interviewing him tonight. And then he started talking about a tour he was doing over in the UK and Europe with a certain band, and I'd never checked his out. So he just messaged me and he says, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah. This band's coming over. They're really cool, etc." I think you might like them. It's what he said to me. And then I got Fork in the Road out on Spotify and gave it a listen, and fucking hell, I was blown away. So I went back to Philip. I says, "Listen, Philip, I really want to try and help the guys, push the fact that they're playing in the UK, which we'll come into later." I says, "But what do you mean you think I would like it? I absolutely love it. This is right up my street." So I introduced your music to the big man here, and hence the reason what he said. Absolutely stunning EP. One of the best I've heard in a long time.
Oh, that's great, man. I really appreciate that. For real. I'm glad you like it.
It's,
That's
it's
the whole point. When you go and you do something, you make a record, that's always your biggest fear that, nobody's going to like it or it's going to flop. And it's done pretty well for us so far. So we're very thankful. And we put a lot of hard work and effort into that record.
it is absolutely a solid album, like EP. Like, you know what I mean? And Rock All Night, when I heard it the first time, I was like, I had to play it a few times, and I was like, geez, that's awesome. Like, the grooves. It reminded me, and please don't shout at me. It had this, but it had early Aerosmith, early like some Skinhead Black Crows.
It's
Um,
perfect, man.
it,
You hit
it,
it right on the head.
it's just nice to listen to. It's a solid hard rock and blues album with loads of feel, great soulful vocals, loads of groove, and it's like where do you start? Well, how did you all get together? Give us a bit of give us some background.
Well, back in 2019, um, well, I guess I could tell you where. I'm from a small town here in the United States, in a small town called Kokomo, Indiana. And my uncle used to own a honky tonk up there in Kokomo. Scott Metco used to play drums for a country star named David Ball. And my uncle had actually hired David to come up to the honky tonk that he owned in Kokomo to play a gig. And my band got to open for David. So that's how I got introduced to Scott, the drummer, who's also on this interview here. You'll hear from him later. But right now, anyhow, so Kokomo, Indiana, 2019. It's a dead blizzard. It was the middle of winter time, and I mean it was snowing like crazy. You could barely get around. It was a pretty good blizzard, one of the bigger ones we'd had in a long time in Kokomo. And but that didn't stop the music from happening that night, and it didn't stop fate from introducing me to Scott Metco, who now has been my drummer for over 6 years, I'd say. And so we get done playing the show in Kokomo, and we're all chilling back in the green room, smoking weed and doing all kinds of other crazy things that rock stars do. And I just kind of got the balls to go up to him and shoot my shot because I knew that I'd be moving to Nashville in a month or two at this point, and I needed a band. I was desperately looking for people to jam with, when I got to Nashville. and I just kind of took some liquid courage and shot my shot and went up to him and asked him, "Hey guys, I'm moving to Nashville in a month. Would you guys like to be my band?" And keep this in mind. He was playing in a band with like a multi-Grammy award-winning country star, and I'm just this punk-ass little kid from Kokomo, Indiana, that had nothing going on at this point. And I just decided to try and hijack this dude's band after I just opened for him. And funny enough, they were like, "Oh, very nice to me. Very nice." They were like, "Yeah, man, you know what? Yeah, we'd love to play for you when you get down to Nashville." And I know that every one of them guys were fully expecting to never see my face again after that night. They were probably thinking, "Yeah, sure, kid. We'll play for you. Never gonna see this kid again." You know what I'm saying? But they made the mistake of giving me their phone number. And when I got to Nashville, first thing I did was called Scott and said, "Hey, man, I'm here. I'm ready to start jamming." And that was pretty much that, man. I mean, he held true to his word, and we got together and started making music. And it's been almost 7 years of making music together now. So all because of one fateful night in snowy Kokomo, Indiana, in January or December of 2019, something like that.
That's
So
great.
Scott, just out of interest from my perspective, when he came up and approached you, did you think you'd ever see him again? And what was it about him when he did contact you that made you want to play?
I mean, no, he's right. I didn't think I'd see him again. You want to be polite, and we were having a good time at his uncle's bar. But I remember when he called me a month later, and I was looking at my phone. I put him in my phone, and the phone rang, and we talked, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's keeping his word. That's a good first impression. All right, and I've always tried to help people when they come to Nashville because so many people helped me when I first came to town. So I'm like going to turn that around and help folks. So, okay, he's coming to Nashville. Can I introduce him to somebody? He wants to get together and jam. All right, I'll get the boys together. I promised we'll help him out. We'll get him a good start. That's about what I was thinking. So then we get all together in this rehearsal space and we start going through his cover band song list. And I'm thinking to myself, dang, I've never heard anybody sing CCR like John Fogerty.
Hmm.
That's not an easy thing to sing. And then, we did something by John Mellencamp and Bob Seger, and I'm like, oh, that sounds just like the record. So then he goes into Lights by Journey, which is Steve Perry vocals. And that
Wow.
is a difficult song. And he just whipped it off like it was no big deal. And I'm thinking to myself, I've never heard anybody sing like this. I don't know where this is going, but I'm in. I'm going to see where this goes. Because I had just never heard anybody sing the most difficult vocals in rock and roll. And here's Steven Tyler, and there's Robert Plant, and there's Kurt Cobain. And I'm it's just effortless. And I thought, all right, this 22-year-old doesn't know anybody in this town. So I didn't know where it was going to go, but I thought I just never heard anybody sing like that. So I'm in. I'll take a
Well,
shot.
the funny thing was, and I've said this in other shows that we've done. For me, I start listening to anything new, and Ian will tell you this. I'm all about vocals, okay? You can have the best riffs, the best melodies out, and when I hear something coming on, and I like the sound of the music, and I'm dreading the bit where the vocals kick in a lot of cases. When Aaron come in, I was like, oh, thank fuck for that. And then he started singing. Now I'm going to give you what I think is the highest praise that I can give a singer, in that there's elements of you that remind me, especially Fork in the Road, of the best. I think the best rock singer that ever came out of Scotland, who was Dan McCafferty from Nazareth.
Oh, hell yeah.
And and I can hear that in your voice, and I was like, that's me. I'm fucking sold here. This is just magnificent. And as I say, so I get where you're coming from, Scott, and that's me not. I have obviously checked you out doing covers because you did an album. Was it 2023 where there are covers on it? So I've checked you out and that. And I've seen you on YouTube, so I know you're great at them. I know you can do them, but I totally get it, Scott. I thought that's what you were going to say, to be perfectly honest with you, but I'm glad you did.
Hmm.
I really appreciate that compliment too. I love Nazareth, and I grew up on that stuff too, you know. And there's a lot of great European bands that I grew up on too. I think there's just as many European bands that had a heavy influence on me and my career than there is American bands, you know.
I've got to ask then, Aaron. Come on, who's your influences from you?
Oh man. Well, if we're talking American bands, obviously top four: Leonard Skinner, Aerosmith, Tom Petty, and I'd have to say for number four, definitely the Eagles. I loved the Eagles growing up, you know, and the harmonies and the countrified Southern rock thing they did, and especially Aerosmith. Obviously, you know, unintentionally, you know, I didn't train my voice or anything to necessarily be like Steven Tyler or anything like that. I think it just came from maybe growing up listening to Aerosmith at such a young age. My parents always listened to classic rock. So it was always playing around the house, and my dad was in a band, and my stepdad was in cover bands playing all this shit. So I think just growing up hearing all this music and singing it all the time helped kind of shape my voice from an early age, um, just by unintentionally singing these songs all the time, you know. And I mean, I always knew that I loved to play music. So definitely Aerosmith, Skinner, Eagles, and Tom Petty, top four. And I've had to add one more, Black Crowes, to be number five. And I didn't get into the Black Crowes till really later on in my life when Scott pretty much turned me on to them. I mean, I knew the Black Crowes hits like, you know, Hard to Handle and stuff like that, but I didn't really start listening extensively through their records, you know, until Scott gave me the first CD, Shake Your Moneymaker, and then I was hooked.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely fab band. I mean, I think is it Midnight Rose is the first track, and you sound like the Eagles, one of the Eagles singers. I don't know which one it is, but you sound really like him in that.
I
I mean that as a
appreciate it, man.
compliment again.
Thank you.
Scott,
Yeah, and you know, and there's so many others. I hate to like pick top four, top five because I mean that's just a really hard question because I'm such an avid music fan and I've got so many different artists that I like and bands and you know, so that's a really tough question for me. But I guess looking back, when I have to answer a question like that, I think about my childhood and early on, what was I listening to that made me get started down the path of rock and roll, and that definitely um, brings me back to the European side of things. I got super obsessed with the Beatles, obviously, as everybody does. I feel like that's not a uncommon thing to hear. The Beatles, when I heard Sergeant Pepper, my cousin showed me that, and completely changed my it completely changed my opinion on music because I was into a lot of old school country like Elvis, like old Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, all that stuff growing up, and heard the Beatles, and then I started smoking weed and growing my hair long and stopped giving a crap about school and wanted to play music. And then obviously from there, I got into the Stones, you know, and all the other great European bands from the late 60s. And, you know, and that was about it. Then I just sold my soul to rock and roll at that point and couldn't get enough of it, you know?
nothing wrong with that at all. So Scott,
Absolutely.
definitely, Scott. What are your influences? What, like, what made you want to start playing drums?
I was fortunate enough to grow up in a musical family. My dad was a professional musician. Um, he was an accordion player. So if you go back to the United States culture in the the 1930s, 40s, 50s, um, I grew up in a German Polish area, Wisconsin, Illinois, that northern Midwest, heavily Central and Eastern European immigrants. And the kids weren't playing piano. The little kids weren't going to piano lessons. They're going to accordion lessons. So I see this picture of my dad in accordion school with all these kids. He grows up playing an accordion. He's a whiz at accordion. He's 14 or 15 playing professionally. So by the time I come along, he's been on RCA Victor in the 40s and 50s. He was on Decca Records in the 60s. He's on TV, and the drums just kind of spoke to me without me even really knowing what was going on. My mom said I was banging on everything since I was 2 years old. So I got a drum set when I was 10. So what do I start doing? I start playing my dad's music. So the polkas, the waltzes, all that kind of stuff, the little foxtrot things. And then the rest of the boys in the band were also into big band music of the 40s and 50s because they're horn players, clarinets, whatever. And just by sheer coincidence, I'm like 10, 11 years old. I'm flipping around the channels on the TV on Saturday afternoon, and I come across the Benny Goodman story. And in that movie, Gene Krupa plays himself as Benny Goodman's drummer. And I'm looking at that dude all dressed to the nines, hair slicked back, big smile, going nuts on the drums. And I'm like, what the heck is this? So that turned me on to big band music. So here I am, a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid, listening to polkas that my dad's playing, old country that he's listening to, and then this big band music with all these flamboyant drummers. So when I get to high school and it comes to rock and roll, I'm just focused on all the bands that have prominent drumming in them, where the drumming really sticks out. Led Zeppelin, the AC/DC, the Beatles, of course, the unique drummers, the Who, where the drums are just first and foremost. First and foremost, that was the music that spoke to me. And I also liked harmony. I liked harmony vocals. Like you, vocals are a big deal to me. I'm not as much into the jam bands, the long instrumentals, the fusion stuff. When I'm playing drums, I'm supporting the singer. If he's changing something up, going in a different way, ad-libbing, I'm supporting the vocals. So those are the bands. I mean, AC/DC was a big one. Zeppelin was a big one. I think John Bonham changed drumming. It's different before and after Bonham.
Yeah.
And I think you could say the same thing for Ringo.
And Keith Moon.
There's other bands,
Keith Moon for sure.
Keith Moon.
Yeah. So, but again, I liked harmony. I liked melody. So when I was real little, I liked listening to ABBA because the production was so great.
Oh,
the
yeah.
harmony was done so well. The songwriting, the amount of impact they had in 8 short years, you can't discount that. I like Fleetwood Mac for the variety and the harmony vocals there. So I was a vocal guy and I was a drumming guy. That's the music that really spoke to me.
And we have something in common because in Scotland, accordion music was a big thing in Scotland as well as it is in Ireland. So in Scotland, there was a guy called Jimmy Shand and his band, and they played sort of like Scottish country music, but he was an accordion player. So we grew up with it. I can remember people coming into my mum and dad's house when I was a kid playing accordion. So so it is a very Celtic thing as well. So we definitely have that in common as well, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, where did the name Hippies and Cowboys come from?
Well, one day we'd been searching for a band name forever. I mean, we were just going by the Aaron Sparling experience or whatever the hell we could come up with at this point, for quite a while. And we were getting more serious about, playing together, and we needed a name. And we'd searched all kinds of stuff. I mean, I got posters hanging on my wall in here that I look around, and it's like Aaron Sparling and the Sunset South and all kinds of stupid names that we went through before we found the Hippies and Cowboys. And one day we were just chilling at rehearsal and screwing around, just laughing, joking. And our old piano player was like, "Yeah, you know, man, we're all just a bunch of damn hippies and cowboys." And I was like, "Well, that's fucking perfect right there. There's the
You know
name,
what?
hippies and
I
cowboys."
I looked at your photo, I looked at your images and that. I went, I could have guessed that. I said, somebody's either described them as that, you're just a bunch of fucking hippies and cowboys. So that's what I
Yeah,
expected you to say.
I mean, I probably talking about damn politics or some shit like that, you know, because you had the hippies, and then you got more of the outlaw, free spirited kind of people like me, you know, that's like more cowboy. But I like to say I'm a hippie cowboy because I really am. I'm a hippie and a cowboy. I have both sides of the fence going on up here, you know. I really say that hippies and cowboys. Everybody asks us all the time, who's the hippie, who's the cowboy? But I think it's more of a state of mind kind of thing, man, you know, because you can be a cowboy and a hippie, and they have a lot of similarities. You'd be surprised, but if you really look up the definition of a hippie and look up the definition of a cowboy and look at synonyms and stuff, there's a lot of similarities going on between hippies and cowboys. So I don't think it's hard to be both, be a hippie cowboy.
You've definitely got the look. You've definitely got the look.
Yeah.
'Cause I look, because that's the first thing I do as well before I listen to music, because it tells me a lot. And I can remember in a band that you kind of remind me of that I absolutely love, who I really come across since 2020, been across the UK and Europe and consistently and building upon all the time, is a band called Robert John and the Wreck.
I love
And
those guys.
oh, they're amazing. And when I looked at you, it reminded me a little bit of them. I thought, I know I'm going to love these guys before I even listen to them, if I'm being honest, as long as the singer's all right. Which luckily you are. But
Yeah.
yeah, the look is strong, and I think we talked before we came on air, before we started recording, about things where America, how it is in Europe, and I think your look is one of the things that they will love in the Europe and the UK, because we grew up watching movies with cowboys and hippies in it. So I mean, so that's very much the rock and roll look. So that's something that'll definitely go down in in your favor, because it is something synonymous with the States.
Well, yeah, you know, and that's a big thing, not just in Europe. I feel like everywhere we go, for one, the name just draws you in. Hippies and cowboys. You hear that, and that just makes you curious. You know, what is hippies and cowboys? I think I like that because I think I'm kind of a hippie cowboy. You know,
Mm.
a lot of people resonate with that, and I've had lots of people tell me when they first hear our name, they're like, "Yeah, had no idea who you were, but I heard your name and I just really liked your name." I thought to myself, that's something that I could get behind, hippies and cowboys, you know, because I feel like there's a little hippie cowboy in everybody in some way or another. So, and you know, the next thing is always the look, you know, the image and the name. Two of the biggest things, if you never heard our music, but you hear the name and you see a picture of us, you're probably going to check out our stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but it just happens. I guess when they say image is everything, it's not a lie. You know, it's
Mhm.
definitely a big part of what we do. Uh, I like to always look good. I don't, you know, I'm not saying we roll out of bed and put on a damn hat and bell bottoms, you know, and prowl around the street. But for the most part, we try and keep a consistent image, and we got to look good, man. I mean, it's a show, it's a production. So you got to fit the part, you got to play your role and do your thing, you know, because there's just many aspects of this business that you have to do to make it successful. And image is definitely one of them, for sure.
100%, 100%. Now, one of the things that I like, because I'm a musician myself, I'm in a band over here, and one of the things that I always ask artists to come on, like we had Dario from Black Label Society last week.
All
Um,
right.
and one of the questions that I always throw to people is about, well, practicing, warming up. How do you do it? And I want to go through both sides of this. So, Scott, from your side, obviously, what practice routines do you do? Because anyone who's listening who's a drummer normally gets stuck at a certain point. So, what point from your perspective? How do you get past hurdles? What is your practice routine, etc., and stuff like that? And then I'll go over to you, Aaron. What warm ups do you do for your vocals? Because you've got a cracking voice, but you've got to look after it as well. And a lot of people don't realize it's like you've got to you've got to exercise it. It's like everything. You've got to practice. You've got to warm up. And if you don't do it right, it can damage you. So start
Yeah.
with yourself, Scott. Let's go with you.
Yeah, I mean, drumming is a very physical thing when you think of the fact that, I'm taking a couple pieces of wood and I'm slamming down on some drums really hard. And I kind of forget that until, every once in a while my finger will get under there and I'm slamming my finger. So it's a tough physical thing. So warming up is important. If there's a time period where we're not playing that much, I'm on the practice pad a little bit more. I got a rubber pad and just, stretching the wrists. There's a couple different wrist stretches, stretching the forearms. Sometimes I'll do that before a gig. Might, just stretch the leg muscles. So it kind of starts with stretching, simple singles, double strokes. If you're into drumming, there's a number of different rudiments. I'll get into that. When we're playing more, just playing the gig, I guess I practice less when we're playing more gigs because just the fact playing of the intensity that we play at will keep me limbered up, will keep kind of like a certain level of ability. But there's a lot that goes with it. There's posture, the way I sit behind the kit. If I see a picture of myself and I'm all hunched over, I know that's not good. I'm always trying to maintain a decent posture. I do yoga when I can. But as far as a warm-up routine, it starts with the hands. It starts on the practice pad. It gets a little bit more creative, maybe some improvisational stuff, maybe playing along with some tunes, stuff that Aaron and the rest of us might be writing. There's some, kind of quirky riffs from time to time, and I will. There's times where I just have to count it out. I gotta get out the piece of paper, write it out, count it out, come up with a count in my head, and then I can get through it. Repetition is key for me. Playing it over a number of times. We had a guitar player tell us one time. He said, "I just play everything 10 times, repeat it 10 times straight through," and that works for him. So music is such a specialized, creative thing, no rules that work for everybody. Everybody's got to come up with their own thing that works for them. The warm-ups, the way you're living your life, down to nutrition and drinking the right amount of water. There's all kinds of things that factor in to keeping your body at top shape so you can do this job. So it's a combination of things, but it's all day, every day. It's just getting the right amount of sleep. It's just taking care of yourself. So when you hit that stage, you're ready. The wrists, the muscles, everything is ready to rock.
How about you, Scott?
Yeah. For me, well, I'm not going to bullshit you, but I don't really do much, to be honest with you.
I do.
I can sit here and tell you all kinds of lies about all these vocal warm-ups and shit that I do, but to be honest with you, I think I'm always warmed up. Like I said, Scott said it great. We work so much, man. I mean, especially this year, we've been playing more shows than not. I mean, I feel like we play every day, and I feel like by doing that, my vocals stay pretty lubricated and warmed up all the time. I guess before, if I'm feeling a little rough, like vocally wise, before we get on, I'll sing like an Aerosmith tune or something just before the show, just to kind of get the pipes working. But I don't really have a vocal routine. A lot of singers have routines that they do and like warm ups and cool downs and stuff like that. And every once in a while I will, I mean, if I'm feeling, like I said, a little under the weather or my voice is feeling a little rough, I've got a little recording on my phone that just, it's like ascending and descending scales, starts in like C and then just goes all the way up the scale, then all the way back down the scale, kind of like a, and then just up and back down. So I'll do that every once in a while. But really, man, I think that adrenaline is the best thing for me. Adrenaline, once I know that I'm about to get going, it's like something just rushes through my body. I get some kind of crazy energy and intense shit. What am I trying to say? Intense burst of energy, you know. And when I get up there, it's just all over, and somehow something takes over me. It's like a light switch comes on, and I go up and just rock the hell out, and it just never fails me, you know. So, like I said, not really anything special, just kind of getting up there and getting into the music. I think the music just inspires me and gives me the energy. As soon as I get up there, I'm just having a great time. And I think that pushes me, you know. And sometimes when I don't think my voice is going to be there, and then I get in front of a crowd of people, the energy radiating off of them somehow pulls it out of me, you know. So it really depends a lot on the crowd and the people, how good of a show we put on and how good my voice is that night, you know, because the bigger the crowd, the better the energy, the better my voice is going to be, the better the whole band's going to be.
Well, there you go, people in Europe and in the UK. You've been given your task. When you go and see these
That's right.
guys, and you must go and see these guys, I promise you, you will love them. But when you go and see them, it's about you. So if you come away and you're not blown away, it's your own bloody fault because you never gave the right vibe. So
Damn right.
to come back to that, obviously you're coming across to Europe and the UK. Notice we split it. We don't count ourselves as part of the UK. The UK is not part of Europe. Okay, just telling you that now. So when you come across to Europe and the UK, have you toured here before?
No, this is our first time,
You didn't
which
Well, have
see
you
them
ever
is,
this
toured
year?
before over here with your accordion playing dad?
No, my dad went to like he played Munich
Yeah.
for Oktoberfest
Oh, cool.
when I was real little, and I didn't go over for that. Um,
Wonder why, Scott.
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some large mugs being thrown down, I'm sure, but I came over when I was in my early 20s with a little Dixieland kind of vaudeville band, and we played. Remember, we played a little festival in southeastern France, Belfort, close to the Swiss border. So it was like a week to 10 days. We got into Paris and messed around there a little bit and played that festival. That was the only time I've been to Europe.
All right. So how much are you looking forward to it and why?
well, for me, um, I feel like it's the same for me being from America as it is for you guys being from Europe. You know, growing up, European bands, European culture, cinema. Um, I loved all that stuff. You know, like all the Beatles movies and especially the music. I feel like it's crazy because when you're from a different country, I feel like you're always obsessed with other cultures, you know, and then when you're from America, you take for granted the American culture and the music and the cinema, you know. So for me, I've just always been obsessed with Europe, and I've always looked forward to one day coming over there, especially London. I'm really looking forward to that, and Liverpool. Just seeing the places where the Beatles were and the Stones and all this stuff, man, and Abbey Road and Apple Studios, all that stuff. I'm really looking forward to coming and seeing that. And just the architecture over there, I've heard, you know, like the castles and all the old medieval stuff, man. I'm
Mm,
super into that. So, you don't really find a lot of that stuff here in America, you know.
no.
So, it's something I can't wait to see, and I've just been looking forward to this day my whole life. So it's really a treat.
So when you're playing, I mean, it's down as Liverpool, but it's actually across the water for Liverpool where you're playing. It's over in Birkenhead. So we call that over the water because just to explain, although I'm Scottish, I actually live in Liverpool. So it's across the water. So when you're there, get the ferry across the Mersey, and do a Beatles tour, and you'll see everything you ever want to see. strawberry fields, everything. It's cool as anything. So
Really,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna do
yeah,
that.
yeah, and it's dead easy to do. It's literally a ferry ride. It just depends. I know you've got a tight schedule when you're over here, at the end of this we will go through when you're in the UK especially, but we'll also put it in the links to the posts that we put out about the actual interview when it goes out as well. So it's super cool. But yeah, you'll love it. And yeah, so literally, yeah, I think all the things, all the reasons you've given, you will see in abundance. It's about, you're right, the history everywhere. I mean, you can come here and you'll be looking at castles in Europe that are 1,000 years old, you
Yeah,
know, and
and
they're
I'm a
still
huge history
intact.
guy. Yeah, and that's huge for me. I'm a big history guy, and I love learning new cultures. I love just seeing the way people live in different places, and just learning. I'm a big, like I said, history guy. Always have been, and I watch the History Channel a lot here in America and learn a lot about European culture. I'm a big World War II guy as well. I'm obsessed with World War II, and that's another thing. One day I want to be able to see like Normandy and all that stuff, all the World War II monuments over there. Definitely a big thing that I'd love to explore one of these days over in Europe.
Like I say, I think because both of us are from Liverpool, I think we you come acclimatized to seeing like all the Beatles stuff, don't you, John? I don't know if it's the same for you, mate. Like, but
Yeah, is that I'm blasé about it now. I mean, I don't even notice it so much. And then if friends or family come down from Scotland, I find myself them asking about it and me then pointing out and sort of going, shit, yeah, it's all there.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. We've got John Lennon's house, which is not far away from where I live, and a few other places. Like like it's surreal. It really is. Like we were one of the main turning points in rock and roll history in theory, like with the Beatles and stuff like that. So when you come over, like we're looking forward to you. We'll welcome you. We'll come
Right.
over and see you, check you out, definitely, like because the least we can do, and to support the scene as well, like what I mean. So we're looking forward to catching up with you guys again when you come over. So
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it too. I don't think there's anybody more excited than me to get over there. I'm
so
serious. If I could leave tomorrow, I would.
The weird thing, well, not weird, but the thing about it is the kind of music that you play, a bit like metal, is loved in places like Germany, places like Holland. You know what I mean? It's there's a real deep love for it as there is over here. You know, we love our Americana, we love our Southern rock,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. There's a legacy.
Well, I've heard
Uh,
that, and I've heard that there's a great rock scene still going over in Europe, and that people still really love good rock and roll music over there. And I've heard that for years. So I'm hoping that you guys prove us right over there, because, to be honest with you, here in America, the rock scene is pretty small these days,
is it?
and there's more of a market for pop music and rap music and stuff like that over here in America. And, it's tough over here as a rock and roll band to gain success or gain any traction, man, because, the labels over here don't want shit to do with rock and roll. The radios don't want to play your music. The fucking journalists, they don't want to write about you. They're like, we've been there, done that, seen the rock and roll thing. It's come and gone. Let's focus on a half naked girl that sells millions of records, you
But
know?
don't get me wrong, it's the same over here. It's a niche market over here as well. But I
Yeah.
think as a band coming from the States with your sound, you will probably do a lot better than some of our homegrown talent that might be fantastic. But there's that thing, and I think not being funny, but you're right about your name. I think a lot of people will come to see you because the name's cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, everybody's always said, like our first manager, he always said the best thing got going for you at this point is your name, So, and I agree. I mean, it's just catchy. I mean, it's really kind of a genius, and
well, I
thank the Lord we
disagree with you
found the
on that,
name.
Aaron, I'm afraid. I think actually, if you listen to the EPs that you've done, I absolutely think the best thing is the music. I'm sorry, like
No, I agree.
your
I
name is
agree.
cool as fuck, but
Well,
I will
thank you.
say I
I
will
was just
say,
more so referring to at this point early on in our career,
oh,
before this record. That was what sold him on us, was the name. When he
definitely.
heard
You know
heard the
what?
name, he's like,
I get
you
that.
know.
I
But yeah,
really,
no, I really appreciate that, and
oh,
I
mate.
agree. And
Uh,
if you think that Fork in the Road is good, you just wait, because we got a new record that's going to be coming out, and it's 10 times better.
so
So,
let's talk about it then. What
all
when are
right.
we expecting it? What are
Well,
we
we don't.
and any little snippets or teasers that we can give to our audience?
Yeah, we don't really have a set date. We've been working. I think back in like February or March or something like that. We went to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, for about 2 weeks, and we cut probably about 20 songs, and then we went on tour and haven't had any time to finish anything. So we've just been out on the road so much that every time I get home and I try and book a session to go and finish anything, our guy down there is either busy, or we've only got like one day until we got to go back out on the road. So it's proved to be fairly difficult to get anything finished with such a heavy touring schedule. And obviously, we're not going to get much done in October because we're going to be over in Europe the whole month. So it's looking like November is going to be when I finally get home and start putting the finishing touches on this record and seeing where it goes from there. And we've also been recording a lot of our shows, maybe thinking about doing a live record. So, it's lots of stuff up in the air at this point. We've just been out here really hitting the road and building the fan base up. And we got a lot of eyes on us right now. So we're trying to be really strategic with what we do and what we release and how we do it, which our management's really good at helping us out with that. And thankful for them. So um, we definitely got some stuff in the can, and it's coming soon, but no exact date yet as
Well,
of right now.
I'm really looking forward to it, mate. So, like I say, whenever you're ready to release it, give us a shout. We'll have you back on, and we can go through that with you as well. If
Yeah.
that's cool. For this next section, I'm sorry, guys. You may hate me for this. So
You will hate him.
apologies in advance. This next section is called Winner Stays On, where you have to pick one or the other.
To stay
Uh-oh.
on.
So you can either confer or argue amongst yourselves. I don't mind, whichever you want to do. So let's start with this. Chris Stapleton versus the Black Crows.
Oh, that's easy. Black Crows.
Oh, I like that. Black Crows or Leonard Skinner.
Ooh, shit. Leonard Skinner. I'd
Leonard
say
Skinner
Leonard Skinner.
or the Allman Brothers.
Leonard Skinner or the Allman Brothers? Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner or Aerosmith.
Ah.
Oh,
Ooh, damn. That's a tough one right there, man. Ah,
What would you
you're
pick,
killing me
Scott?
here. You're killing me. You're hurting my heart. Uh, shit, man. I'd have to say Leonard Skinner, man.
Wow. Okay, Leonard Skinner or the Eagles.
Oh, Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner or the Stones.
Shit.
Everybody loves this
Oh,
section.
now you're getting there. Oh, damn. Shit. As much as I love Skinner, I kind of have to say the Stones on this one, I guess.
all right.
For
Okay.
sure.
The last one, the Stones or the Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles for sure.
He's a
Beatles
good
for
man.
sure.
He's a good man. That's what I like to hear. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much, Aaron. And apologies, mate. The amount of times people hate on me for this, but it's actually quite funny.
No, I love them all. I mean, it's all in good fun. And, the reason I say Leonard Skinner so much is just because I think about, as great as like a Aerosmith of a rock and roll band is, you know, uh, the music is much more intricate with Skinner. The parts that they created and their solos and the piano solos that Billy Powell played. I mean, it's just so intricate, and they put so much time and effort into writing these things, and there was always so genuine and true to the who they actually were, their music. You know, you can listen to the music and see who they are just from listening to their music, and they always work so hard at creating crazy parts that nobody else can play. I mean, everybody plays Freebird or Sweet Home Alabama, but nobody plays it correctly, you
That's
know.
true. That's true.
Um, it's crazy the effort and the amount of talent these guys had inside of them, and that's why I always got to go with Skinner, because not a lot of people can do what they did correctly. You can imitate it, but you can never, quite get it perfect. Some people can, but not very often, you know.
I think
So
I think Ian, we should do the same with Scott with drummers. I reckon you
I
should
agree.
catch him now with drummers. Pick drummers.
Let me think then. So
Uh-oh.
oh, let's come up with another question first, John, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
I'll give you time to think about it.
let me get
Okay.
the list together.
So you're putting together. You're looking not strategically, but from the heart here, guys. And we'll take this separately as well. You could go on a world tour with one band. Who is it going to be and why? I mean now, not one that's from the past. I mean a band now that you could go on tour with and why.
World tour now. Hmm.
Scott, you're very quiet, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I wait for the pauses where he's thinking and
Does it
talking.
does it have to be like a current band, or do you mean any band that's still touring today,
Any band
even
that's
if they're
still touring
from
today, any
forever
band that's
ago?
touring today, anybody that you could realistically actually be on a tour with.
Man, I'd have to say Aerosmith for sure. I mean, even though they just stopped touring last year or whatever, so I guess that doesn't really count. But
I promise they're meant to be coming back out, aren't they? One last.
well, that's what I hear, but
Yeah.
you never know. But I would say for sure Aerosmith, man. I mean that. How cool would that be? I don't think there's anything cooler than that, unless you're with the Stones. I mean, that too would be great. Going on tour with the Rolling Stones on a world tour. So I mean,
Although
I
they,
don't think
they
it really
do,
gets much cooler than that for a rock and roller, man. I mean,
although the Stones do pick some weird bands to go out with them. Really
they
strange
do.
choices.
I was very surprised. We went and seen the Stones last year in Chicago, and they had Lainey Wilson opening up for them, and then they had this weird band, the Ghost Hounds or some shit. And I'm listening to their music. I'm like, out of all the fucking bands that you could have chose, you chose these bands. It's a
Mm,
money thing, I guarantee it. These bands probably paid a shit ton of money to get on tour with them,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's probably how that worked. I doubt they were thinking, this is a good rock and roll band to open for us. They're thinking, no, give me $1 million and you can open for us.
Right,
So
Scott,
that's probably what that is.
right, Scotty boy, who are you choosing?
As a touring band,
Yeah.
I'd probably pick the Black Crows. Um, you know, seeing their crowd, we played a festival with them this summer, so we could kind of technically say we opened for them. But in that crowd, there's such a wide variety of people, and there's such a wide variety of music that this band plays, that the Black Crows play. And when I see, I guess I haven't gone to see Skinnerd, um, but some of the bands where, their crowd, it's 50, 60 plus, and pretty much the entire crowd is
Mm,
older folks, which is not bad. But if we're going to be opening for somebody, if they're bringing some younger and middle-aged crowd, we want that for our fan base as well. So I'd probably pick the Black Crows because they're going to be around for a while yet, and they're just so good. They're
yeah, good,
playing.
good choice.
They're just still. I mean, they're still firing on all cylinders. They're going to be cranking up music for a while yet, which is a good thing.
Right, Big Ian,
Absolutely.
have you got any more now? Have you got? Oh yeah, see we go, Scott. We're putting you in the spot now.
All right,
If you think we made it difficult for Aaron, wait to hear these ones.
bring it on.
Right, I'm going to start off with a random one, and the only reason why is because she is the one of the most underrated drummers who I know. And when I seen her play, she was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to start with this one: Karen Carpenter or Jason Bonham. I mean, that was Jason Bonham.
Jason Bonham or Karen Carpenter. Thanks to YouTube, there's some Karen Carpenter stuff out there that finally I think she's getting the due. At the time, I don't think, unless you happen to watch her playing big band music and throwing down her Buddy Rich licks, most people would know of her for, singing I'm on Top of the World, which is not all that complex music drumming wise. I haven't heard a lot of Jason Bonham. I got the debut hair metal album on cassette, buddy. I got the Bonham album on cassette, so I was into it. But I mean, with his heritage and legacy and what he grew up in, he's got a big chunk of that. So, as great as Karen Carpenter is, and it's not a male female thing because I grew up with 6 sisters and a single mom. So I'm not. Women can throw it down. I'm going to have to go with Jason.
Jason Bonham or Neil Peart?
Oh man, there's people out there that are going to hate me. But there's great Rush. There's great Rush tunes out there. There was something about that music. For me, growing up in the North, Aaron's going to talk about Southern rock all day long. I grew up in the North listening to Northern rock. So I listened to a lot of the bands from Canada. And I listened to Rush and Prism and Triumph and, of course, the Guess Who and BTO. Good stuff coming out of Canada.
Neil Young.
And I really should be a bigger fan of Neil Peart than I am. And I think it was just a little bit too stiff or too technical or too non-grooving or something.
I agree.
But, I mean, the drummers that I like the most, they had you can tell they listened to and played the blues. You can tell they listened to and played jazz. And I just don't hear the groovy greasiness in Neil Peart stuff. And, you can hear it in Kiss. You can hear it in Aerosmith. You can hear it in so many bands. And I just never got that from Neil Peart. Technically great. Great fills and stuff. But, man, I wish my answers were shorter. What was the other choice? Neil Peart or who? Jason Bonham? I'd have to go with Jason Bonham.
Jason Bonham or Dave Grohl?
Oh, baby.
Oh. Now there's
I hope you choose. You better choose wisely on this one. You're going to piss me off.
Another completely different cat right there. And what he has done, first of all, turning around Nirvana from the EP to the Nevermind album, they became a different band. And, people would think of him initially as maybe like a basher. And then when you really listen to all the intricate stuff and everything that he did for that band,
it's disco.
Of course, not even saying anything about his guitar work. I'm going to have to go with Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl or Keith Moon?
Please.
Oh, man. Dude, you're killing me, Smalls.
You're pretty damn good at coming up with these questions. I got to tell you that.
Yeah. Dave Grohl or Keith Moon. They both have the animal energy, just the reckless abandon, just the flailing. But there's something about Keith Moon. Maybe there's a little bit more technique or sizzle or splash or something in there. I might have to go with Keith Moon on that. I'm
I
gonna
think Keith
have to
Moon. I
go with
think
Keith
Keith
Moon.
Moon for drumming was a bit like Hendrix was for the guitar. He did it. He played it differently.
It really did.
What
Reckless
about
abandon,
I
but
have
perfect for the songs. And what would the Who be without Keith Moon?
Yeah.
two more for
anybody
you.
that blows up their bass drum, man, has got me.
Two more for you. Keith Moon versus Mitch Mitchell.
Oh, dude.
It's like
I'd
ripping
have
his
to,
heart
Oh,
out here.
uh, oh man.
this
Sorry
is an
about this,
easy one.
Scott.
Yeah.
This is an easy one.
The fact this is I didn't interrupt your portion of the show, Aaron Sparling. What Mitch Mitchell brought a heavy jazz background. Um, and how slinky and groovy he made that with what he brought the jazz into the psychedelica, that would be Mitch Mitchell.
Last one.
And I bet you I can guess who it is. Is it Mitch Mitchell or John Bonham?
John Bonham. I knew that's what you were going to. I knew you queued that up till the end. I was ready for you, buddy. There, I mean, again, Bonham, jazz drummer, but the way he hit the drums and the tone that he got out of the drums, and how the drums just jumped out of that music. I wish I would have got a chance to see those guys live.
I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, just sound and placement. And again, I don't know that there's been a bigger impact on rock and roll drumming than John Bonham. I don't know if there's a bigger one.
What about Ginger Baker?
I had him down, but I was gonna. It was one of those where I think it could have gone on for absolutely days.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I've actually got Ginger Baker down on my list.
Or
So
even
yeah.
Artemis Pyle from Skinner. I don't know if I always reference Skinner, but man, I'll tell you what, kind of an underrated drummer, man. He's actually really fucking good. If you listen to them drum parts in there, it's not like he's got the crazy drum solo thing going, but his groove and some of the fills he does, man, are fucking insane.
It's creative and it's
Yeah,
unique, and
yeah,
it's kind of like a Ringo Starr thing where it's so unique to him. I don't get a sense that Artemis spent a whole lot of time when he was younger working the perfect, the drum things that we all go through and playing everything technically correct. I get a sense that he's just got it in him, and it came out uniquely. There's drummers that are like kind of self-taught drummers, and because they're self-taught and didn't study out of all the books that all of us studied out of, that made them unique. And I get the sense that Artemis Pyle is in that camp, because
right.
there's times where his tempo is all over the place, and when I first heard it when I was younger, I'm like, oh dang, it just kind of turned me off because it like affected the groove for me. And then the more I listened to it and hanging out with Aaron and digging into some of these, like you said, the parts and how he would think to come off with a hi-hat tom-tom groove during the second pass through the guitar solo with that smell. Like who would think of that? No one else would think of that. Very, very unique stuff.
Yep, no doubt.
That's cool. Well, gentlemen, it's getting to that time where we're going to have to let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. Before I go, though, I would like to just say, just give you some of the dates, people, if you're in the UK especially, the dates that we need you to know, and we will put this out as well. October the 18th, which is the Kent Blues and Rock Festival in Sittingbourne. On the 19th, the Robin 2 in Belston. The 21st, the Tuesday Night Music Club in Coulsdon. 22nd, the Swinging Arm Liverpool. Me and the big man will be coming across for that one. October the 23rd, the Met Lounge in Peterborough, and October the 24th, the Camden Assembly in London. So get your skates on. Do not miss these guys because I'll tell you right now, if you do, you're a fool.
A big one. A big one. Hey,
Like I
thank
said,
you guys, man. I appreciate it. Don't be the fool on the hill, man. Come and see us.
Oh, I like what you did there, bro. I like what you did there.
we will put all the links down below. Go on, Scott. You was going to say something. You've got your drumming hand in the air ready.
I got one extra little quick thing here. All right, Aaron was talking about the new music that's not been recorded yet. So here's the secret. If you come out to see the shows, you're going to hear some new songs. You're going to hear them where you can't hear them anywhere else. We're going to preview some new music. Okay.
Hey, there you go.
You've heard it there, everyone. Guys, I can't thank you enough. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to catching up when you come over to Liverpool. Definitely, we'll definitely meet up and have a pint. So looking
Or
forward
5 pints.
yeah, or 10. Click the links below. Check out where they're playing. Support the band. Click our link. Subscribe. And John, over to you, mate.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another fantastic couple of guests that we've interviewed there. Absolutely loved it, guys. Thank you very much. Make sure you do go and see the guys because honestly, and believe me, check out the EP as well, Fork in the Road. It is absolutely superb. So we're now going out on YouTube. We're going out in Apple Music, Spotify. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you follow us, subscribe. Scouser and the Scot, over and out.
Love y'all. Thank you.